There's many different ways in how you can create a mousse. There's fruit mousses, there's chocolate, there's mousses with meringues, with custards, with lots of cream, gelatin, chocolate setting it. So there's lots of different applications. I'm going to show you an easy mousse to create and how to get the best results while maintaining the most air when you're mixing it. To start with, I'm going to place some 35% fat cream into the saucepan. I'm going to put in some vanilla beans, so just cutting the vanilla bean in half. Taking out all those beautiful seeds. You can freeze the vanilla bean to give it a much longer shelf life. And when you're buying it, make sure it's nice and pliable, then you know you're getting a really good quality bean. You can keep the skins and always put them in the oven at home when I turn the oven off, and it gives the house a beautiful aroma. But once they're all dry, I put them in the food processor to grind them to a powder, and then you can use that instead of the inside of the bean when you've run out. I'm going to turn that on a low heat, and while that's boiling, I'm going to combine some sugar, some caster sugar, and some egg yolks. When you put these two ingredients together, make sure you mix them thoroughly. If you put them on top of each other without mixing, what happens is the sugar will burn the yolks and you'll end up with some orange lumps throughout the mixture, which is what we don't want. So just mix that. You don't need to aerate it at all. If it gets caught up in your whisk, just open your whisk up to pop it out. Now that that's boiling, we're going to pour it in and just give that a whisk. You never put the egg mixture into the cream because it'll cook the eggs and it'll end up like scrambled eggs. So this is called an anglaise, which is a really nice light custard that we're creating. And it's a great base for a mousse, whether it's a chocolate mousse or a fruit-based mousse. Just add the remainder of that cream in. Whisking it in. We're going to scrape that back into the saucepan. Now on a really low heat, we're going to heat this up to 80 degrees Celsius. If you've got a really strong stove or you're working with gas or you're not sure, I would recommend that you actually put this custard mixture into a bowl on top of a simmering saucepan rather than putting it on direct heat. Then you'll have a lot more control and it won't go so quickly. What I have here is some milk chocolate and a sieve. As soon as this is ready, I'm going to strain it to stop the cooking process over the milk chocolate and then whisk it together. You can use a thermometer to determine if you've reached 80 degrees Celsius. You can also test it with a wooden spoon by dipping the wooden spoon in and wiping your finger across. If it runs over that line, it means that the mixture is not cooked enough. If it holds a line, it means you've reached 80 degrees Celsius. Stir it constantly while you're heating it and ensure that it's on a really low heat. Now that's ready, we're going to strain it immediately to stop the cooking process, and we strain it to eliminate any of the cooked eggs so it doesn't go through to the chocolate. We're going to whisk the chocolate and the anglaise together until all the chocolate is melted. This mixture doesn't have any gelatin in it to set the mousse, so it's quite a soft mousse. If you want it to hold up outside or on display, it's usually best to add a small amount of gelatin, and you would add that in just after you've strained the anglaise to the mixture to ensure that it melts. So we've got a beautiful glossy finish and a base for our mousse. The next stage to aerate and lighten the mixture is to fold through some semi-whipped cream. When we fold through semi-whipped cream, we must ensure that this mixture is not too hot, otherwise we melt the butter in the cream and we lose all the air we incorporate. So we're looking at this to be between 30 and 34 degrees Celsius approximately, so it shouldn't feel really hot when we actually touch the bowl. We have our cream here because these are two very different consistencies. We can't just mix them all together completely. I'm going to add a little bit of cream into the chocolate mixture before adding the remainder. So we're going to gently fold it through to ensure we maintain as much air as possible. So just a small amount of cream to start. Now that we've got that mixed in, it's important not to overwork or overmix the mousse because the cream can separate. So we can separate the butter and water and it'll go very granular. So we're going to add the remainder now. So this is just a semi-whipped cream. So it's got some beautiful air incorporated and some shape, but it still actually collapses. So just folding that through. And there we have our finished prepared mousse.